Hello, in this video I want to walk through what's called break-even analysis by using Goal-Seek, a tool within Microsoft Excel. Now, before we begin, you should be familiar with fixed cost versus variable cost, price, and profit. If not, please go and check out some other videos. However, I will provide you a very brief explanation. Fixed cost could be something like equipment or the cost of the factory that you own in order to make the good. So this is a manufacturing problem. Variable cost is the raw material, maybe the labor, some ingredients, anything related to making a particular quantity. So every time you make a glass bottle, you've got your glass, you got your metal cap on the top, your aluminum cap, or what have you, anything associated with the production of that individual bottle. For example, in contrast to that, the factory, whether you make 10,000 bottles or one bottle, you still paid for that factory. It's one of your costs. So that's why we call that fixed cost. And variable cost, again, is a cost that you incur based on producing an ingredient or output, rather, there. Price each is the price that you're selling that particular unit for. So that's why we have each and each. Profit, that's the difference between your price and your costs. Okay, so the objective with break even is for businesses to identify how many units they have to sell in order to pay for all of their costs, including their fixed costs. How many units do I have to sell in order to pay for my warehouse plus cover the costs of manufacturing those units that I have to sell in order to cover my costs? So it's kind of like this circular flow, if you will, with the difference being the profit per unit sold. So we're going to go through here with an example. Let's say that I've got $500,000 for a factory. Now that's a pretty cheap factory, but it's a nice and simple number for us to work with. And let's say that I am making an iPhone accessory, okay? And it cost me $6.50 to make that accessory. I sell it for $10 to a retailer like Target or something like that. So essentially I make $3.50. $10 minus $6.50 gives me $3.50 per unit. That said, yeah, I'm profitable by $3.50, but I've got to pay for this huge number, so I have to produce a lot of units here. We're going to leave this blank because what will happen is we're going to have this be 0 because that means break even. We've covered all our costs, but we're not making any new money. We just covered all of our costs, and that's the definition of break even. So we're going to go here with Goal-Seek. So Goal-Seek is a tool in the Data tab in the What If analysis. Click on Goal-Seek, and I know it's a very tiny box here. I am sorry, I cannot blow this up for you. So we're going to set B6 to 0. Why to 0? Because we want to do the break even. If we wanted to say, hey, I want to make $50,000 in total profit after all my expenses, then you would put 50,000 in. But because we're doing a break even, we're going to put 0. How do I do that? By changing B7. Now, I'm going to get an error here when I hit OK, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. Cell must contain a formula. So B6 must contain a formula. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put in a formula that says price, so B5 minus variable cost. We're going to put that in brackets, and we're going to multiply that times the quantity that the Goal-Seek is going to tell us to make. We're going to close brackets on that. And if you're very skilled with mathematics, you know there's going to be different ways to do this. Like I could put that B7 up front. Instead, I put it behind here. But the thing we have to do now is include our fixed cost. So we have to subtract off our fixed cost. If I hit enter here, I'm going to get negative 500,000. Why? Because I haven't produced anything here yet, so it's 0. So this minus this times 0, okay, is 0 minus the 500. If I put 1 in here, see how that $3.50 is there? I made 1 unit, I made $3.50 on profit. Now I'm only behind by this number. So now we have it all set up. We're going to go over to goal seek again. So what if analysis, goal seek. This time we're going to again set the B6 to 0 by changing B7. Now the numbers are going to work. It's still working. Boom. We got our answer. If we want to break even, subject to this information, we need to produce 142,857.14 units. Or loosely said, 142,858 units, because you can't produce 0.14. So if you were a student in my class, this would not be an acceptable answer, because while statistically and mathematically this is how it came out, in business you can't sell 0.14 units. So what we would do is we would ask you to round this number up. So round up this number without any decimals, and there's our answer, 142,858. Now obviously your profit would change a little bit, right? But the answer is, to break even, we have to produce this much, because we cannot produce 0.14 units. So that's break even analysis for you.